Hey guys, it's Emoticon Angel. Today I'm actually in Sweden visiting a good friend of mine, and we had to share a twin bed. Which, like, okay, yeah, maybe there's people out there that share twin beds all the time, but like, girl, I'm kind of a big girl, like, and yeah, basically wasn't able to sleep that much. But what that did mean is that I was like constantly in a state of unconsciousness and like consciousness, kind of like this duality. And yeah, I just lucid dreamt and had a lot of sleep paralysis, which is something that I used to actually study. And so I thought maybe it would be cool to talk about it and make a video about it. Um, yeah, so I just kind of want to start off by like what is like going on, I think, like intellectually with what that is. So David Lynch is a movie director, most known for being a movie director of a famous film. I don't know why it's blinking on me right now, but y'all know who he is. But he's actually also like a very artistic person. He's a painter. He's a writer. He designed a whole bar, actually, or like not a bar but a movie theater in Paris, like a catacombs of Paris. It's called Silencio Club. And yeah, he also was a person that believed in manifesting. And basically, I was watching this interview where he's talking about this space between the unconscious and the conscious, and how when you're daydreaming or when you're sleeping, you kind of reach that stage, and that stage is so powerful to manifest what you want in life. I think he calls it like the the curtains unveiled. It's kind of like when you're between those two, the curtain is beginning to unveil into the other one. The door is beginning to open, but you can kind of stop it and make it white for a second and kind of make it a different dimension. And that to him is what he calls the manifest dimension. And to me, I think it's where a lot of spiritual concepts actually live, like um, lucid dreaming, sleep paralysis, daydreaming. Like all of these things are slightly different. I mean, some of them exist more lucidly than others. Some of them are scary as fuck. Um, but nonetheless, they're kind of this state where we're not really fully there, but not really fully not there. We're not sleeping, but we're not conscious. So, yeah, let's talk about lucid dreaming then. We'll start with that. So, lucid dreaming, I actually came upon the concept through Shane Dawson when I was like, I want to say like 12 or something. And he basically would just teach people how to lucid dream. Lucid dreaming is basically when you can control your dream. That's it when it's like rightly done. But when you begin to start your journey into lucid dreaming, it is more about being aware that you're actually in a dream. So Shane Dawson, for example, he would talk about counting his fingers. And when you're in your lucid dream, text is not text. It's kind of like AI. Text is not text. You will see, instead of a clock, it will be all like numbers that don't make sense. Or even like things that usually are a certain way are not a certain way. So for me, like whenever I want to check if I'm in a lucid dream, I will either just look at the clock, like I will look at a phone, I will look at some text, like I will pick up some text, and it will look like Simlish, it will look like something incomprehensible, and then it'll be like, okay, I'm in a dream. Now, the bitch of it all is staying in the dream, because the second that your brain realizes that you're not actually in the real world, it sort of starts to kick in again, and you lose that dream state. You lose that like that white blank screen that David Lynch was talking about. And so there's a lot of people that you can read about this. I was reading a lot about Jodorowsky at one point, and Jodorowsky he's another movie director. I feel like people that are true artists do like every single art medium. But yeah, this is Alexander Jodorowsky, and he was this psychomagic user, and basically he would use his dreams. Every night he would dream, and he would think back about all the things that he did in the day, and then using that, he would fall into a lucid dream. And this man would lucid dream every single night. That means that he was controlling his dreams every single night. That's crazy. And what he would do is he would actually do like quests. He would like, you can read about it if you want. I think the book is like all about psychomagic, something like that, like the third or fourth chapter. And he would just basically use it as like a sort of introspection. A lot of artists use dreams as like a sort of introspection, especially if you have, there's like a certain house placement that means that you're more like in tune with the spiritual aspect of life. Anyways, he was very kind of like almost like moralistic, or like fighting things, or like dealing with things, or dealing with people and characters. Like he would fight villains and like go on quest and do different type of things in his dreams. That's not necessarily what my quest is. I'm not really that adventurous like I think Jodorowsky is. Nonetheless, this is how you stay in a lucid dream. So the second you realize, the first thing is realizing that you're in the dream. That's already going to be hard. A lot of people are not really conscious as they're going through life. They're kind of zombieing through life. I mean, I get it. Sometimes you're on medication. Sometimes you're just thinking about all these other things, but like really being in tune with life, almost like this like meditative prayer, like in tuneness. A lot of people are not going to feel it, but that's the first step to mastery, is being in tune with your reality, even when you're awake. Being in tune, knowing this is what it looks like when I'm awake. Look around you. The walls are crisp. The details are crisp. You look at text and it makes sense. You know, it's 10:49. That's what the first thing you need to do, is realize you're actually in a dream. Have your reality grounded. Then, when you're in the dream, you will make a habit of looking at the time. You will make a habit of looking at text. I remember one time I realized, because I was looking at a cereal box. It can come in unsuspecting ways. Another way is that you can realize is if something happens that you would never expect to happen. Like I remember one time I was dreaming, and also I usually start lucid dreaming on my way back up, like when I'm starting to wake up. Not like REM or anything like that. Like right when I'm starting to hit that, like, okay, it's the morning time. Like, you know, if you're like struggling to wake up, in and out of sleep, that's a good time to lucid dream. Another thing, like I said, is noticing things that are off. Like, for example, I think in one lucid dream, I was in this stage of up and down, and my grandma appeared, and I'm like, doesn't make sense. My grandma doesn't live here. What is she doing here? And I knew I was in a dream. Next thing is staying in the dream. To stay in the dream, you need to roll. I mean, like, literally physically roll. Like this. I'm going to use this as an excuse to close the door. You need to roll. It's gonna feel crazy because it's gonna feel like you're rolling in real life. Like you're gonna feel like you're rolling in your bed. Just trust me, roll. And then you will fall back into the dream. Every single time you start to feel it sort of loosen its grip. Roll. Just really force yourself to roll. Like, it's gonna be hard because you're gonna be like confused, but you can do it. Then once you're actually in there, you're gonna want to do like stupid shit, obviously. Like it takes a while to actually develop your brain and make it so that you want to do things that are intellectual, like Jodorowsky, or you want to do things that are not so simple, like, oh, I just want to have sex with this person, you know, or I just want to see this pillow be pink. That was me last night. I was just like, oh, I just want to see this pillow be pink. I just changed the pillow to be pink. That's it. It wasn't really intellectual. I have not quite gotten to the point of mastery where I'm like Jodorowsky and I'm like so adventurous and so dedicated to it and doing all of these quests. However, I have gotten the chance to fly, which was really cool. I did ask a question. I asked, what is the meaning of life to another consciousness in the lucid dream? And the answer was Oreos, if you wanted to know. So that didn't really help. Well, maybe it did. I don't know. You tell me if that means anything. But yeah, there's it's hard. It's hard to do, and I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh, I'm the master. I've studied it a bit. So, and it's also like kind of an interesting topic to study because it's sort of something that I think hits people tangentially in terms of their interest. People will study it kind of on the side, but that's not really like their main thing. Like they're kind of just like doing it, but it's like so enchanting, that I want to share it. A lot of people, well, I don't know about a lot of people, but David Lynch, for example, believes that this is a time where you can actually manifest what you want in life. Um, Whether it be in this lucid dream state or if it's like daydreaming in the car, kind of like, like listening to a frequency or something, just kind of like, and you're like dreaming of your dream life, everything like that. That's something else. So, this will lead me to my second part, which is sleep paralysis. You can fuck this up. You can fuck up lucid dreaming. It's very, very possible to fall into sleep paralysis. Sleep paralysis, if you have felt it before, is when you're sleeping and you're aware that you're awake, but your body can't move. So you're sitting there, frozen, like this. And everything is moving around you. And sometimes you will actually see, I never get to that point recently because I always know how to get out of it. I'll tell you how to get out of it in a second. But you will see these apparitions, like dark beings. Like you are scared. In sleep paralysis, you are scared. Your body is still, your mind is awake, but there's things coming to you. There's a threat. There's always an imminent threat. One time it came to me in the form of like my stuffed animal that was like my childhood stuffed animal. So that's horrifying. Simply put. How to get out of it? The best way to get out of it is to slowly start moving your fingers. So you start with your finger, and this one I got from Shane Dawson, guys. Like, this is some knowledge for sure, but you start moving your fingers like this. Just start inching them, and have that be the only thing you focus about. Don't pay attention to the things around you that are scary. Just move your fingers. And eventually you will gain consciousness of your body and everything bad will go away. But you have to start there. It's back to like getting to like the physical conscious reality where it's actually more based on things that are physically happening rather than things that are spiritually or like unconsciously happening. So it helps to move yourself. You have to move yourself in a small way. You can also start with your toes, but I usually do my fingers. Just you'll be sleeping and you'll be still. And then, boom, you're out of it. That's how to get out of the sleep paralysis. I don't really have many thoughts besides that about sleep paralysis. I hate being in it. I was in it a couple times last night, so that's why I thought about it. But, yeah, I mean, like, typically, like, if you're sleeping well, that's not gonna happen. Okay. Lastly is sort of what I want to call like this dream manifesting frequency that David Lynch talks about. So David Lynch talks about moving the screen and having this white screen, and he talks about how it's actually a good time to manifest. And this is one that I'm sort of dipping my toes in right now. But I would say I like to listen to things that are repetitive, like frequencies, things like that. Me personally, I've been liking kind of like this frequency, the 11 hertz frequency. That one seems to be working, but I also don't want to like put anything out there that's bad because I have some friends that listen to some frequencies and like start going into psychosis. So really like be conscious of what you're listening to. If you feel like when you're listening to it, it's actually putting you in a space where you can focus and really like think about your dreams. I'm talking like imagine like the details of like the house that you want to build, or like imagine the details of who will be there with you when you win that award. Things like that. How you will win that award, like the things that you have to do in order to get to that point. If you feel like that's the energy that frequency is giving you, then that's good. That's a good frequency. But if the frequency is like, it's making you hear voices and making you like sort of dive into something that is a little bit not yours to dive into, don't listen to that. You have to be very conscious of what is coming into you and out to you in order to understand where you are in the world. You know, like, it's a privilege for sure to be able to understand the stimulus that is coming into you and the stimulus that's coming out. And it's also so important to protect it and to not let yourself go with the waves of whatever the fuck is happening. Be very conscious of it, you know? That's why, like, a lot of people are not very conscious of their addictions. A lot of people are not very conscious of their diets. A lot of people are not very conscious of the people that they're around. All of that stuff will influence you. And all of that stuff is, like, shining bright in this and these different states of being. It's, like, so obvious that something is wrong or something is right. It's so obvious because it's, like, blaring at you. Because it's kind of unconscious, you know? In the day-to-day, it's not something we really think about. But when this state is blaring at you and it's like, boom, I'm here. That was kind of scary. I'm sorry. But yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. Kind of just like very lightly brushing on this subject and also kind of telling you guys some people that I actually learned this information from. If I'm thinking about everything that I've learned, it's been very male-centered. So I think I would like to learn maybe more female ideas about the topic. Of course, I feel like because of the patriarchal world that we live in, all the information that really pops out will be male-centered. So it will take like a lot of effort in order for me to find that feminine energy in there. But that is a quest that I'm always on. And if you are listening to this and you actually have a and I don't know, like, to put it simply, an elder that you know has a lot of information or anything I can read, let me know. I'm very interested in the topic. I think moving forward, I definitely want to continue to understand this area of knowledge. I think it's definitely one that a lot of people are not going to talk about. A lot of people are talking about things that are very rooted in the physical world or also like in the abstract world, like money and insurances and all this stuff. But I really do think that this is an important concept, and it's not really abstract in the same way that money is. That money is more of like I would say money is more like a human-made abstract concept where it's like all of these places feel like they're more divinely gifted. Like they're kind of this like beautiful part of existence that you either can tap into or not. But the world is not going to force you to. Not this world. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed. This is Amor con Angel, and I will see you in the next video.